Dancing with Impermanence, the Harmonious Symphony of Letting Go. Join us as we embark on a journey into the depths of who we really are.
Part 1. The Nature of Attachment. Good day to you all. Let us begin by examining the intricate spider's web of our attachments and understanding why they exist. This requires us to delve deep into the human psyche. See, we are rather like the oyster. You've heard the tale, no doubt. A bit of grit gets into the shell and is bothersome, yet it is the same grit that eventually becomes the pearl. This is precisely how our attachments, our fears, and our desires manifest. They are born out of an instinctual need to protect and nourish our physical and emotional selves. Our attachments can take on myriad forms: relationships, possessions, beliefs, ambitions. They give us a sense of identity, of I am, and provide us with a perceived sense of security. However, what happens when these attachments begin to cause us distress, when the pearl becomes a shackle? This is where the beauty of letting go comes in. But how does one do it? This is the question that has echoed through the corridors of time. We will attempt to answer it over the course of our conversation. Part 2. The Art of Letting Go. Now, what does it mean to let go? One could say it's about relinquishing control, releasing tension, or surrendering desire. But really, at its core, it is about coming to terms with the very essence of life change. It's about embracing the ebb and flow of existence, the inescapable impermanence of all things. Alan Watts, a philosopher and interpreter of Eastern wisdom for the Western world, famously said, "The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance." This is the heart of letting go, my friends, not merely standing on the riverbank and observing the water flow, but jumping in and becoming one with the current. However, to understand the art of letting go, one needs to realize the paradox that forms its foundation. It is a process that requires the absence of trying. As Watts suggests, it's similar to how you fall asleep. You can't do it by trying to do it. You need to let go and let it happen. Part 3. The Journey Towards Detachment. Now, letting go does not mean we forsake our responsibilities or suppress our feelings. Quite the opposite. It's about acknowledging these feelings, experiencing them fully without trying to control, change, or escape them. It's about observing without judging. Earl Nightingale, another sage voice, reminds us of the law of the farm. You cannot cheat the farm. You must sow in the spring to reap in the fall. And so it is with the process of letting go. It is an investment in yourself that requires patience, perseverance, and a profound sense of self-awareness. Meditation, mindfulness practices, cognitive restructuring, these can be invaluable tools in our journey towards detachment. They allow us to create a space between ourselves and our attachments, making it possible to observe our emotional responses without being consumed by them. Part 4. The Liberation of Letting Go. When we begin to master the art of letting go, we find ourselves in a place of freedom and peace. We begin to see life not as a linear journey, with each step weighed down by the burden of attachments, but as a dance, a playful, fluid movement that is always in flux. Imagine for a moment you're a cloud in the sky, drifting freely, changing form. Sometimes you may reign, but you don't lament the loss. Instead, you understand it to be part of your existence, your purpose. This is the essence of letting go. Part 5. Resilience in the face of change. You see, it's often not the change itself that disturbs us, but our resistance to it. We try to hold on to the familiar, fearing the uncertainty of the new. But life, in all its wisdom, is in a constant state of flux, and resilience comes from our ability to adapt and flow with this change. Alan Watts once said, "The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance." He was suggesting that instead of fighting the natural course of life, we should join in, surrender to its rhythm, and accept the impermanence of all things. Part 6. The Role of Acceptance. This is where acceptance plays its role. Acceptance isn't about liking or approving. It's about acknowledging the reality of the situation and choosing to let it be. It's about relinquishing control over the uncontrollable, understanding that much of life will unfold as it will, regardless of our will. The true act of acceptance is a passive one. It's to cease doing. It is the conscious surrender of control. Part 7. The Power of Perspective. When we let go of our attachments, we give ourselves the opportunity to gain perspective. Imagine looking at a tapestry up close. You see individual threads, knots, and imperfections. However, when you step back, you begin to appreciate the complete design. Similarly, when we let go, we begin to see our lives from a broader perspective. Earl Nightingale wisely observed that our attitude towards others determines their attitude towards us. As we adopt a more open-minded perspective, our attitude naturally becomes more accepting and compassionate, and we find ourselves better understood and accepted by others. Part 8. Finding Inner Peace. Finally, as we journey through the process of letting go, we find ourselves arriving at a place of inner peace. This is a place where our self-worth is no longer tied to our attachments, a place where we find joy and fulfillment within ourselves. So, dear friends, let us venture forth on this journey of letting go. Let's embrace the unknown, the fleeting nature of life. Let's dance with change, make peace with impermanence, and find liberation in detachment. This is our path towards tranquility, towards the art of living a fulfilling life. This is the profound process of letting go.